Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with the review on the Codex Astra Militarum. I have to say I'm very happy with this codex. The artwork is awesome. I'm very pleased. And now I will do this review on the special rules, and I will start with the heavy weapons team. So heavy weapons team are considered only one miniature, and we have to take this into account. One miniature, one shooting, have the special rule bulky, and doesn't matter that you transform two miniatures into one. It's only one miniature for all the purposes, for counting the percentage on moral check. And when you attack, only plus one attack. So everything is one miniature, and this is very specified here in the rules. Now let's start talking about the warlord traits. So Warlord traits the table here. Number 1. Nominate these 3 units in your army detachment. These units gain all flying special rule. So it's not, for me, it's not one of the best. Very similar to some of the strategic Warlord traits. It's quite okay. Next one, all grudge. During deployment, before deploying infiltrators and before scouts redeploy, choose one Warhammer 40k codex. The warlord and his unit have preferred enemy special rule against all enemies units in that codex. Well, it's a little bit of boost to your warlord unit. The point here is normally I don't see the warlord unit as one of the key units as in other codex to play. I see more Imperial Guard, or in this case Astra Militarum, what is called now, that the warlord unit is more to give support and to boost other units with the orders and other rules. But that's all. So let's go to, then we have the Draconian Disciplinarian. So friendly units from Codex Astra Militarum at 12 inches from the warlord do not take moral checks for losing 25% in in the shooting phase, so for casualties. And next one, implacable determination. The warlord and his unit have relentless special rule. Again, it's not a big boost. I will expect that you have mainly one heavy weapon if you have any, because normally I don't put heavy weapons in my warlord unit, and only in the case that you have the visor master of ordnance will make a little bit of sense, because then you can move and use the ordnance anyway. Next one, bellowing voice. Your warlord has the voice of command special rule, and if your warlord already has the voice of command special rule, he can issue orders friendly units. So increase the bubble of 2 from 12 to 18 inches. Not bad, not amazing. So just a little bit of boost. But normally when you organize your army, you start thinking what are the orders that you will issue, and you normally plan this in advance. And the next one I think is quite good. Master of Command. Again, your warlord have voice of command. In case that you have it from, if the warlord already has the voice of command, then you can issue an extra order. This is quite good. So now your company commander will can issue three orders, and the orders you will see later on are quite good. So I will cover now the voice of command that is covering the orders. Voice of command. Voice of command is the rule where the some units in the codex can issue order to other units. So any unit, any character that have voice of command special rule can issue orders, and normally they can issue one order, and the company commander normally can issue two orders it is a senior officer. Normally all the senior officers can issue two orders and have access to special orders here. The orders have to be issued during the shooting phase, and then you have to use the leadership of the unit that is receiving the order. Okay, in case those units have box operator, then you can re-roll in case you fail. On top of that, you can have inspired tactics. If you roll double one during the when you are issuing the orders, all the next orders this turn will happen automatically. You don't have to roll anywhere anymore. And you can have also incompetent commander. So that means if you roll a double 6, you cannot issue more orders the rest of the turn. So if we can, with any of your commanders. So there is not any specific order how you have to issue the orders, like in the old book. So you can issue in the order you want, but it's specified that have to be at the start of the shooting. So you have to start with the orders, and then you do the shooting and all the other stuff. And some of the orders will activate automatically the shooting of that unit. So let's go order by order. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 orders that can be issued by anybody. And then we have 3 specific orders that only can be issued by senior officers. Okay, let's start with the common orders. Take a him. So the unit make a shooting attack, and when resolving the shooting attack, all models in the order have precision shot. All units. So all miniatures have precision shot. So even heavy weapons or special weapons. The next one is you can give split fire. This can be quite interesting with the troops, where you have a heavy weapon team and the rest of the units have rest of the miniatures have las guns. So you can split now, use the heavy weapon against the vehicle, and the rest of the unit against the infantry. Then we have first rank fire, second rank fire. Very typical, very common, is used in the previous codex, but in that case the difference is that can be used by las guns and hot shot las guns. So also the Militarum Tempestus have this special rule. Then we have forwards for the Emperor. You do the shooting attack, and once the shooting attack is finished, you can run. So you have like the Elder, you can shoot and you cannot run and shoot. You have to shoot and then run. Then we have move. The unit must run, and then determining how runs, you roll 3d6 and you choose the higher one. Suppressive fire. The weapons in the ordered unit have pinning special rule. This is quite big, also interesting. Depending who you are fighting, can be more or less interesting. Then we have the special orders that only can be issued by senior commanders. And the first one is bring it down. The order unit must take a shooting attack, and when resolving the shooting attack, they have Tank Hunter and Monster Hunter. The next one is fire on my target, also only for senior officers. The order unit must make a shooting attack, and when resolving the shooting attack, all weapons in the order unit have nose cover special rule. This is very interesting if you have veterans, for example, with plasma gun, and you want to guarantee that your enemy have not this cover safe. So imagine at short range you shoot 6 shots of plasma gun and they don't have cover safe, so you almost guarantee 4 casualties on your enemy. And the next one is get back in the fight. A unit that is running back, so you can issue they can issue a leadership test, and if they pass, they remove automatically. If they were pinned or they were to the ground, they act as normal. And then you can move this unit 3 inches as usual. So these are the orders. Very interesting. Some of them are quite interesting. I like the one that you nose cover, especially if you want to bring down a skimmer. Or I like the one that is giving Tank Hunter or Monster Hunter. I also, well, there are some interesting orders. I think is where if you play with infantry, you should maximize the orders in that book. And now let's start talking about the HQ choices, and we will start with Commissar Yarrick. So Commissar Yarrick is costing 145 points, and is combining the 2 parts of this course. So he's a commissar with all the rules from commissar, and also have voice of command. And he's senior officer, so he can issue 2 orders per turn. The only thing is, he has what is called here now chain of command. That means that if you have a company commander, he cannot be the warlord of your army. So if you include a company commander, the warlord will be the company commander, and he will be just an HQ. I think it's quite a boost because it's combining both things, and it's quite good in close combat because he have. Let's go for the 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 abilities. So he have weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 5, strength 3, toughness 4, 3 wounds, initiative 3, 3 attacks, leadership 10, and 4 plus save. So he have cavalry armor, and then he have a lot of special rules. He have out of discipline. This is from Commissar, chain of command, eternal warrior. So you have to kill the 3 wounds to kill him. Independent character, Iron Will, preferred enemy, senior officer, summary execution, and voice of command. And the warlord trait, in case he is the warlord, is the draconian disciplinary. That is the one that is boosting the morale around him, so the units have not to roll for moral check if they lose 25% or more. It's quite good in close combat, also because he have the the power field for plus invulnerable, and he have the how it's called is the power claw. So he have a power fist. So his strength is strength 6 in close combat, and have ability 5, 3 attacks plus 1 if you charge. So it's not bad in close combat. Also can issue some orders, and is a big boost for the morale of your army. So I think it's good to have the army around him, and in case you are in danger in close combat, you can send Commissary Yarrick to deal with that. Also have Iron Will is a special rule for him. That what it does is that when it dies, you don't remove the commissar from game. You just leave a token there, and then in the next at the start of the next turn, you roll a d6 with 3 plus. Commissar Yarrick is back, and you have to place Commissar Yarrick 1 inch more than 1 inch from any of the models. So it's have the same rule as the Necrons. So it's but and 3 plus. So it's quite a solid choice. 145 points, maybe it's a little bit too much, but I think it's quite a good character, and it's not only because it's good in close combat, also it's boosting all your army with the leadership 10. So you can use his leadership, and you can include in a unit that you want to keep in close combat, or you put him in a unit with troops of 20 guardians, they will be quite strong. The next HQ choice is the Company Command Squad. And this is one of have the most options of the HQ choices. So the Company Command Squad is costing 60 points, and by these 60 points you have the Company Commander plus 4 veterans. And then the Company Commander have Flak Armor, so 5 plus, Last Pistol, Close Combat Weapon, Fragment Axe, and Refractor Field, and the veterans have Flak Armor, Last Gun, and Frag Grenades. Then they have a lot of options. You can put advisors. You can put 1 astropath, 1 master of command, or 1 officer of the flight. And I will explain later on what they do, what the advisors do. Then the company commander can take melee weapons, ranged weapons, special issue war gear, and heirlooms of conquest. Heirlooms of conquest are the relics of this book. There are some that are quite interesting, and I will cover also them later on. You also can replace the last pistol by a shotgun. Any veteran can replace the last pistol and the last gun by a last pistol and a close combat weapon. You can add a boxcaster. You can one veteran can have a heavy flamer. 1 veteran can carry medipack. Another veteran can carry regimental standard, and 2 veterans can be converted into a heavy weapons team, and then take a heavy weapon from the list. And all veterans, including all veterans, can have crack grenades, Capra's armor. No, this is different. You pay 2 points per model that have Capra's armor, or you can add also Camor gear, that is adding +1 to your cover save. They can select a Chimera or Taurox as a dedicated transport, and I think I also skip. They also can pick special weapons if they didn't pick any of the options. So it's very easy to personalize. You can personalize for close combat, taking some of the items, special for the commander. Normally, I'd like to have a little bit of close combat punch. and use the orders and the special weapons to do some shooting at medium short range. This is how I like to play them. So now let's talk a little bit about the advisors. You have three types of advisors. So there is not anymore the bodyguard advisor. So you have the astropath, you have the master of ordnance, and the officer of the fleet. So the astropath, it costs 25 points. Is a psyker of level 1 that have, if I'm not wrong, telepathy. Just checking right now. I think psyker level 1, and I think have, yeah, telepathy. So, and the point here is he has leadership 7. And telepathy is not one of the best for me. So I don't think it's a big choice. But if you want to give a little bit of fluff, it makes sense. It's 25 points for that. The Master of Ordnance for me is one of the most solid. Master of Ordnance is costing 20 points, and I think for 20 points you have a person that have artillery bombardment. So the Master of Ordnance might take a shooting attack with the following profile: Infinite, Strength 9, AP 3, Ordnance 1, Barrage and Large Blast. An artillery bombardment is resolved separately from the other barrage weapons fired by the same unit in the same shooting phase, but must choose the same target as the rest of the unit. Then, if its roll is scatter, the scatter will be 2d6 in the direction of the roll, even if it's not, except if it's a hit. And if you can see the objective, the blast marker scatter 1d6. I will repeat. If a hit is rolled on the scatter dice, the blast marker scatters 2d6 in the direction shown by the arrow on the hit symbol. If an arrow is rolled, the blast marker scatters an additional d6. If a master of ordnance has line of sight to his target, then reduces the total distance scattered by the ballistic skill. So it's like a normal ordnance. So you shoot a strength 9 AP3. It's quite good. So it's a quite boost, and you can keep him alive if you have in a good unit. And the last one, also 20 points, the officer of the fleet. I think also have to use leadership test to use the ability. And again, leadership 7 is not that great. And then he can choose between two options. So if you pass the leadership test, you can do coordinate reserve, so you put +1 bonus to your reserve roll. And you can do intercept reserve, so your opponent suffers a penalty of -1 to the reserve roll during the next turn. Always a roll of 6 is a success, so you cannot make it fail automatically. So the advisors are not bad, but I think the best one is still the Master of Ordnance. I don't see the Astropath to give a lot on this army. Okay, I think this is also in that point interesting to review the different special equipment that is coming in that codex. The relics here are called heirlooms of conquest, are different equipment. So we have the Emperor's Benediction by 5 points, and the Emperor's Benediction is just a pistol that have precision shot on mastercraft, strength 5, AP4. So it's like a one shot of heavy bolter by 5 points. I only can be taken by the commissar and substituting the ball pistol. Then we have the Laurels of Command, only for company commander. Laurels of Command, whenever a friendly unit from the codex at 6 inches of the bearer is required to take a moral check, the bearer of the Laurels might choose whether they pass or they fail. However, if the model with the laurel is removed as a casualty, all friendly units from the codex within 6 inches must take an immediate pinning test. So it's a boost, so you can decide if you lose and fail if you are on him. It's a boost to your leadership and to your command. It guarantees a more reliability, but if the commander is used, you have to pass a pinning check. Next one is the Tactical Auto-Reliquary of Tiberius. And this one is when rolling leadership tests for orders issued by an officer with the tactical auto reliquary. Any successful leadership test that result in a double will count as inspired tactics. So this is really a good boost for the orders. If you have an officer with that, yeah, any double, then you will start with him. And if you have any double, all the rest of the orders will happen automatically. However, if you roll a double one while using the tactical auto reliquary, you still benefit from the spy tactics. So the officer is accidentally shoot the device out of the box network. It might no longer. So if you have a double one, you lose the ability. I think it's quite interesting, but it's 25 points, so you have to think twice if you want to put this one. Then we have the Blade of Conquest. It's a weapon that is close combat, is a melee, mastercraft, +1 AP3. So it's a power sword with +1 in the strength. And then we have the Death Mark of Olanius by 30 points. The Death Mark of Olanius is here. The bearer of the Death Mark of Olanius gains is a +4 invulnerable, and it will not die and fear special rule. It will not die, I don't think makes a lot of sense in a character of strength of toughness 3. So the 4+, that is 30 points to boost your character from 5+ to 4+ invulnerable in most of the cases. So you have to also to think twice if it's interesting for you. And then the last one, 60 points. Kurov's Aquila. The officer and all friendly units from the codex at 6 inches have preferred enemy special rule. In addition, the bearer might roll a single failed leadership test per turn. I'm not sure this is worth 60 points for that. I'm not sure it's worth. I'm not very impressed with this special equipment. I don't think I will use a lot of them. Maybe I will use from time to time the Blade of Conquest, because the power sword is 15 points in the codex, and this Blade of Conquest is 25 points. By 10 points more, you have +1 to strength. That sometimes is interesting in Imperial Guardian, but not a lot of things here. Continue talking about the HQs. We also have some special characters that are improvements on the company command squad. The first one is Lord Castellan Crete. So he costs 80 points on top of the cost of the company command squad. You replace the company commander by him. Then he has Caparas armored, 2 hot shot las pistols, frag grenades, refractor field, and if the Crete is your warlord, he receives 2 warlord traits that can be chosen from the same list or from different lists. He has a special rule, Supreme Commander, and Tactical Genius, and Voice of Command. So if we look at the special rules in more detail, so Supreme Commander, Crete can issue up to 3 orders a turn. Crete can issue orders that can only be issued by models with senior officer, a special rule. Failed orders issued by Crete must be rerolled. So it's a Castellan Crete is mainly there to boost with all these special rules. It's not meant to be in close combat. I think the main objective of him is to issue rules, to issue orders, 3 orders, and use the warlord traits, try to boost as maximum around him all the units that you have there. Tactical Genius is 2 warlord traits instead of 1. And then he can go with Kill, I don't know exactly how it's pronounced, the Color Sergeant Kill. Kill can only be included if you have Crete, but on top of the 80 points of Crete, you have to add 75 points for Kill. And he will have Caparas armorless pistol, power fist, power sword, frag grenades, regimental standard, and then he has special rules, listen up maggots, lookout set Ag, and sworn protector. So he is the close combat guy to keep Crete a little bit more alive. The Sergeant Kill also but the point is you have to take into account that he also is just a standard human with strength and toughness 3. but also is helping to boost the orders. So if you have listen up maggots, if Kel is in the same unit as Quid, leadership test for orders issued by Quid can taken with the leadership of Kells. The point is he have leadership 8. If you have Sergeant in the units, you also have leadership 8. It's not a big improvement. Look observe if a wound is allocated to a character in this model's unit, the character automatically passes the lookout cell, and the one must be allocated to the model with this special rule instead. So he's saving Quid for any accidental death. And Swarm Protector, Kel must declare a glorious intervention whenever it's possible and will automatically pass. So I think it's a lot of points because if 80 plus 75 is 155 plus 60 points is 200 to boost your HQ. I'm not a big fan of having very expensive units in Astra Militarum Codex or what's called in Imperial Guard. I'm more on the thing that in Imperial Guard the numbers are better than the quality, but if you're looking for the maximum boost to your orders, this is the combination that you're looking for. The next special character is Iron Hand Striken, the Colonel Iron Hand Striken. I think he is the close combat choice in that codex. So he have weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 4, strength 6, toughness 4, weapons wounds 3, initiative 3, 3 attacks, leadership 9, and a special save. No, sorry, special save. He have a armor save of 3 plus. So, and then he have special rules: Cold, Steel, and Courage, Fearless, Hungo, Ogungo, a Monster Hunter, and have War Gear, Plasma Armor, Plasma Pistol, Shotgun, Close Combat Weapon, Frag Grenades, Refractor Field. And he have the fixed Warlord trait, Implacable Determination. He's giving relentless to the unit. I don't think giving relentless to the unit is adding a lot, because this guy is more oriented to close combat, and I will not put heavy weapon team in his squad. So then let's make a look what the special rules do. So Cold, Steel, and Courage, Colonel Striken, and all friendly units from the Codex at 6 inches of him have counterattack and full charge special rule. So you can be quite nasty if you throw to your opponent a bunch of these Imperial Guardians, and it can be quite a bad surprise. But I think it's mainly useful for him. Then Colonel Striken Gungo. Colonel Striken must always issue and accept challenge whenever it's possible. So he's clearly oriented to close combat. I think the best way to play him is keep under the commanding, try to use his command rules, and then when your enemy is too close to you, throw Colonel Iron Hand Striken to your opponent. The only drawback is costing 130 points. So on top of that is 60 points for what you pay for the company squad. So you go to 190 points, and on top of that you have to add equipment for the rest of the unit. So only if you add just box operator and regimental banner or standard, you go over 200. So it's quite expensive. Also option for HQ. And the last option in the special characters is Nork the Dog. It's costing 85 points, and it's an augment that is added to the unit. So one company command squad in your army might add Nork the Dog. So it's not substituting any of the components of the unit. You are just adding one extra component, or the augment is added to the unit. The special rule he have is Feel No Pain, Hammer of Wrath, Heroic Sacrifice, Lookout Cell R, Loyal to the End, Stubborn, Thunderous Headbutt, very bulky, and is equipped with Kappa's armor, Reaper gun, and frag grenades. Then, if we want to look a little bit more in detail, the special rules. So, Heroic Sacrifice If Nor loses his last wound in close combat, he may immediately make his full complement of attacks against the unit that killed him at the same initiative step, even if he has already made his attacks in that fight phase. So he has initiative 3, you can do all attacks. Imagine that Nova Neckman is killing him, he will repeat all against his attacks. And he also can use, instead of using his attacks, he can use the Thunderbolt Headbutt. That is attack, a melee, that is a melee attack that is melee, concussive, strength plus 3, so it means strength 8, AP 3. So he can be quite nasty also against vehicles, because a strength 8 attack can be quite powerful. He has a strength 5, toughness 5, and 3 wounds. So it's quite a strong guy. I think if you combine him with Colonel Straken, it's going to be a very powerful unit, but again, a lot of points, because this guy is costing 85 points. So if you combine with Colonel Straken, you go to 300 points unit, more or less. So it's a good boost if you want to save your commander, but my recommendation is don't put your commander under threat, and you don't have to use this guy. The Tank Commander. This is a new entry in that book. It's 30 points, and you must include a Lemon Ruse, of course, because it's the tank that he is commanding. So it's 30 points plus the cost of a Lemon Ruse, that will be between 130 and 170 depending of the variant. Also, the unit must include at least one additional Lemon Ruse or 2 additional Lemon Ruses. So you have to pay at least 2 Lemon Ruses to complete the unit. And then you can upgrade the Tank Commander to Knight Commander Pask. So if we keep talking about the Tank Commander, he has 2 special rules. One is Lemon Ruse Commander, and the other one is Tank Orders. So as Lemon Ruse Commander, the Tank Commander always starts inside of a Lemon Ruse, and if the Lemon Ruse is killed, the Tank Commander is killed at the same time. And the Tank Commander Squadron counts as a HQ choice, and the Tank Commander's Lemon Ruse cannot leave the unit or join another unit, for even if the rest of the squadron is destroyed. So you always have to keep the same unit. The good thing is that the Tank Commander will have Ballistic Skill 4. And then also can issue some tank orders to the unit. And what that means is that the Tank Commander unit immediately move flat out, up to 6d6, even if it's heavy, so they can do a flat out of 6d6. I'm not a big fan of this one. The next one is Gunners Kill on Sight. The Tank Commander's unit immediately makes a shooting attack, and the Tank Commander must shoot at different target than the rest of the unit. This can be interesting because it's a split fire, so if you include 2 tanks in your unit, you can do a split fire. The unit is shooting to one objective and your commander is shooting to another objective. And the last one is a Strike and Throat. The Tank Commander's unit must make a shooting attack. After this shooting attack has been resolved, all vehicles in the unit that haven't already done so must use the smoke launcher. So you shoot and then you use the smoke launchers. It's not bad. I think with the split of fire, it's not a problem to include 2 tanks. You don't lose the versatility or the agility. I will not recommend to use him as a warlord, because you lose your voice of command unless you're planning to use a mechanized infantry. And then if you take Commander Pask, he have a little bit of more. He have some additional rules. So he has All Grudge as a warlord trait. That is the one that is All Grudge is the one that give the warlord and his unit have preferred enemy special rule, so it's not bad. But then have Quack Shot. So shots made by past Lemon Ruse can reroll armor penetration rolls against vehicles, including glancing or penetrating hits, but the second result must be kept. Furthermore, the turret of the weapons of vehicle gains additional benefit depending on its time. When firing a battle cannon, Vanquisher cannon, Demolisher siege cannon, or Eradicator Pask can reroll to hit rolls. An Exterminator cannon or Punisher Gatling fired Bypass has a rending special rule, and when firing execution and plasma can, pass might choose to fire incandescent plasma blast, and then it's 36 inches, strength 7, AP2, heavy 1, large blast. So it's heavy 1 and large blast instead of 3 shots of small blast. And it's half blind special rule. So I don't think the 40 additional points for I will pay the 40 additional point for Knight Commander Pass, but having a tank commander can be interesting. So you have a vehicle that have ballistic skill 4. Now let's talk about Lord Commissar and Commissars. So Lord Commissar is a unit that can be chosen as a HQ, can be you only HQ and you warlord from the unit, if there is not a common squad. The rules he's costing 65 points, weapon and ballistic skill 5, strength and toughness and wounds 3, initiative 3, attacks 3, leadership 10, and 5 plus save. He can have special weapons, special issues, so you can put Capara's armor for plus. You can also do other equipment. And the basic equipment is flak armor, bolt pistol, close combat weapon, frag and crack grenades and refractor field. And then have all the special rules for being commissar. This out of discipline, chain of command, independent character, stubborn, and summary execution. So it's chain of command is new from this book. A Lord Commissar may only be your warlord if you have no models with senior official special rule in your primary detachment. That means that if you have a command squad, he cannot be your your warlord. Out of discipline, any friendly unit at 6 inches can use his leadership for fear, morale, and pinning. And then the summary execution is the one that change. If you fail any fear, morale, or pinning test after the reroll, you can choose to do a summary execution. Then you throw a d6 with 3 plus. You kill one of the models in the unit that you are doing the summary execution. With 1 or 2, your opponent will select what is the model this kill. You also have the commissars. The commissars are also stubborn and have summary execution. They cost 25 points, it's quite cheap, and you can include 1 per command unit, company command squad, or platoon command squad. Is equipped like the Lord Commissar with flak armor, bolt pistol, close combat, and frag and crack grenades. Have not the refractor field, of course. So for 25 points, if you want to boost some of your units, you can include him, and I don't think you are obliged to put. They do not take, so they don't count as HQ. And before the battle, immediately after determining the warlord to each commissar must be assigned to a unit from the following list, and the list is company command squad, platoon command squad, infantry, special weapons, heavy weapons, conscripts, veterans, Ugwins, Bullwins, Militarum Tempestus, command squad, and Militarum Tempestus missions. So can be included almost in any infantry unit except Ratlings and the Psychers and some others. So most of in any almost of the infantry units you have in your army can be included. All the next entries in the HQs cannot be used as warlords and are not using the mandatory, so they don't take up the mandatory HQ selection. So they are HQs, but they don't fill any slot, and you cannot use them as the mandatory HQ. And following that, we have 3 types of HQs. We talked before about the commissar, and now we have 3 more. We have the Ministorum Priest, the Primary Psyker, and the Engineer. So the Ministorum Priest, 25 points, is have the profile of a standard human, weapon, ballistic, skill 3, strength, toughness 3, 1 wound, initiative 3. The bandage have 2 attacks, leadership 7, and save 5. Is equipped with flak armor, last pistol, close combat weapon, frag grenades, and rosarios. So have the 4 plus invulnerable save. He is an independent character, have war aims and Zyrod. So you can is independent character. You can choose from 0 to 3 for any primary detachment. No, for any detachment, sorry. So each detachment can choose from 0 to 3. And you only have the next options. You can add an autogun or plasma gun. So I don't know why they take out all the close combat options that they used to have. They don't can use no eviscerator that they collect from other codecs can do. I think, and then the other thing is the war imps are working that the special rule that is used in other codecs is the one that you have to do. If I'm not wrong, I'm checking right now. So if we look here, the war imps, you have to take a leadership test. With leadership 7, it's quite difficult sometimes to do it. And then you have 3 options. If you pass the leadership test, you reroll Violet Armor and Invulnerable Save until the end of the phase. Until the end of the phase, the Ministorum Priest has the Smash special rule, and the Ministorum Priest and his unit roll failed rolls 2-1 until the end of the phase. And this has to be done at the subphase of the close combat, at the phase in close combat. And have to be locked in close combat to be able to use this ability. Have also the Zealot special rule. I'm not a big fan of this Ministorum Priest. As I say, unless you attach him to an Ogwins unit, a Bull Ogwins that are more specialized for close combat. Then we have the Primary Psyker. Primary Psyker is costing 50 points. Have weapons and ballistic skill 4, strength and toughness 3, 2 wounds, initiative 3, 2 attacks, leadership 9, and 5+ save. Is equipped with flak armor, last pistol, force weapon, frag grenades, and refractor field. Is an independent character. Have the special rule, it's for your own good, and is Psyker mastery level 1. And they can take powers from Biomancy, Divination, Pyromancy, and Telekinesis. And I think here my favorite will be Divination. With Divination plus the rules, you can have very nice combos there. I imagine rerolling to hit plus all the other special rules that you can add can be quite nasty for your opponent. Can be also a great to mastery level 2 by 25 points. So by 75 points you have a level 2 Psyker. Not more options, I think can be a nice boost in your HQ, and you should protect him in another unit. You can take up to 3 Psykers by detachment. So I don't think I will take a lot of them, but maybe one to boost some of your shooting can be quite interesting. It's doing the same function as an Inquisitor in the Inquisitorial troops. And then we have the engines here. You can take also up to 3 for every detachment, and you might include 1 unit of servitors for every engine shield. So you can take up to 3 units of servitors. And they have power armor, last pistol, power axe, servo harm, frag grenades, crack grenades. Then they have the Awakening of the Machine. This is a new one. Blessing of the Omniscient and Dependent character. And they cost 40 points. And if we could look them in more detail, the Awakening of the Machine, I think this is the new one. I think it's the first time I read this rule. In each of your shooting phases, instead of firing his weapon, the engine shield might choose a single friendly Astra Militarum vehicle within 12 inches. That vehicle gains Power of the Machine Spirit special rule until the end of the turn. So having a Lemon Ruse with Power of the Machine Spirit can be interesting. And this guy is costing 40 points, and they don't have to do any type of roll, so it's guaranteed that you will have that rule if you keep your engines here at 12 inches from the vehicles. So I think they are quite good. If you go for armored army with a lot of vehicles, maybe it will be no interesting to have some of these engines here to give a spirit of the machine to your vehicles. On top of that, they also have the Blessing of the Omniscient. So In each shooting phase, instead of fighting his weapon, the engineer may choose to repair a single friendly vehicle that is in base contact or is embarked on. So also can be done by embarking. To repair the vehicle, roll a d6. Add 1 for each servitor. If the result is 5 or more, you may either restore a hull point or repair a weapon destroyed or immobilized result from earlier in the battle. So I see them to be useful if you have an armored army with some heavy vehicles. So they can make your opponents suffer more to kill your vehicles. Servitors are only costing 10 points, so you can add the +1 very easily. And these guys are only costing 40 points. So I think that's all for the HQs on that codex. So, and that's all for that video. And the next video are going to be shorter. I will cover the troops, and then I will continue covering the different units on this codex. So thanks a lot for watching, and see you all again later. Bye.